Hello, everybody. This is Kaz. My guest today is Morite2. Welcome, Morite2. He is an English teacher of Yobiko in Japan, and he has a YouTube channel called
Morite2 English channel.
Welcome. How are you?
Good. And you?
I'm very good. Do you mind talking about yourself a little bit to our audience?
Sure. Hello there. I'm Morite2. Okay. I'm an English teacher in Japan. I usually teach the high school students or the people who want to get into a prestigious university in Japan.
So you're like a charismatic teacher of English in Japan, and
I think so. I hope so.
And you have a lot of publication in the area of TOEIC tests and also university entrance exam preparation.
Right. Yes.
So you agreed with me today to talk about differences between the U.S. and Japan in terms of how students go to college. And we were just talking to each other earlier to this, and we said that in America, things are kind of loose and flexible because there are people who want to go to prestigious universities like Harvard or Stanford, they prepare like crazy. They really need to get good grades in school and they take SAT. But on the other hand, we have a lot of students who just go to community colleges for their education. So it's pretty flexible depending on what you want to do. Of course, there's a lot of pressure. It's not like American high school kids are less, nervous about their future, but still there's some flexibility. But in Japan, there's a test that you have to take and it's a lot of a pressure. Do you agree? Could you describe how it is in Japan?
Right. So yeah, actually, I talked to two American guys today, and both of them said, "Yeah, it's crazy. Japanese people are crazy about entrance exams. Like you, or the American people can get into high school pretty easily or without tests, right? And it's for free. But in Japan, you have to take entrance exams to enter high school. So that's very different. And the people really care about tests. And an entrance exam for universities, crazy, really crazy. People study hard. Yeah.
I'm sorry, my dog is growling somehow.
Oh, really?
But let's not worry about. She's okay. Okay, so craziness. Yeah, you just pointed out that in Japan, even for high school, people have to take, the entrance exam, and that's so crazy because it makes people nervous, and not everybody's good at test taking, right? Because in America, we are aware that a certain, segment of, a lot of people are not really good at test taking. So we kind of give them, for example, if they have to take a standardized test. In America, we have a law that says that you have to kind of measure the progress of students every, it's called, in the state of Virginia, it's called SOL. The students have to take this standardized test in math and English, but it's not really to, it's just to measure their progress. And although it's part of high school graduation, but if they have learning disability or if they can't take a test well, we give them more time. So there's a lot of consideration for students who can't perform well on this kind of test. But in Japan, I think there's no mercy of this kind. Everybody has to take the test.
And then the interesting difference is that American people think, especially for SAT, you have to study yourself. Yeah, that's normal. And that's what you should do.
But could you just tell me one more time? In America, you have to study by yourself.
Like SAT, yeah, that's right, by yourself. But people usually go to school, right? Called cram school. Yeah. And whenever I try to explain cram schools, usually people don't understand what they are. But the cram schools are the places people study for entrance exams. And they're called juku or Yobiko in Japan, and then people go there. And then these days, kind of online schooling is getting popular, and a lot of people study for entrance exams online. But a lot of Americans are surprised by the fact that people study by going to school for entrance exams.
So sometimes students they go to regular schools during the daytime, and then they may go to cram schools after school, or if they finish high school and they couldn't pass the entrance exam the first time, as Ronins, right?
Ronin.
So how big is the population of Ronin compared to the rest of just regular students who are in school and then go to cram school?
Right. I mean, compared to before, the number is not that big anymore in Japan, but still, it's a huge market. Especially the entrance exams are getting like more difficult, like for good universities, private universities in Tokyo, because the Japanese government said like you can't, just accept as many students as possible. So you have to reduce the number. And then so now the tests are more like strict. And so a lot of students decide to become Ronin, or like it's the first one is the Ronin, the second one is called Niro, the second year, the Sanro, the third year.
And it gets very expensive. You mentioned that high school in America is free. It is free, and it's amazing. It's incredible. And then I'm a parent of an 18-year-old who just finished high school. Actually, he is going to have a graduation ceremony this coming Monday, but it was all completely free.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible. And then the system, public school system here in Fairfax, Virginia, has different programs called academies. And my son went to fire academy to become a firefighter, to be certified firefighter during high school.
Wow.
So, but this is the program that exists only here, only one program in the world. But I really appreciated this program because it's like the public system trying to meet the needs of different types of students. Not all students are like going to Harvard, but some people want to be car mechanics, some people want to be firefighters, and some people are really good at math and other subjects areas. So I think the system is really trying to reach different people. But in Japan, it's like so hard, right? Pressure cooking.
Right. And then I can't imagine. What do we have that kind of school?
I don't know.
For firefighters. There are many vocational schools, right? But I've never heard of that kind of one.
And it's all free, incredible. Like,
wow.
Zero money. Yeah. Actually, it's. They asked me to pay $100 for some expense at the fire academy, but towards the end of this year, a couple of weeks ago, I got a notice saying that, we didn't really use the money, so we'll just give you back the money. And I got a check of $100 from the fire academy. Wow. Anyway, I want to conclude this program by stating, so what is good about this system in Japan versus, and what is kind of a disadvantage of the system? And I'm going to ask you, what's good about this way of system in Japan that's like really...
Good question. Never thought about it. But it's a lot of people who succeeded say like, it was like kind of best time. It was the hardest time, but like after they finished the entrance exam, they didn't feel like, we did it. We accomplished something big. So I think that's the good thing. But on the other hand, there are more people who failed, right? So that's the kind of hardest part for me to see the results of the entrance exams, and a lot of people cry every year.
Oh no. I have one more final question that popped up in my mind as I listened to you. I feel like it was exactly the same 30 years ago when I was living in Japan. Did anything change over the past 30 years?
The biggest difference is probably the number of students. And then second thing is, Yeah, questions are a little bit different from 30 years ago, I think, because
You mean
it's
test
like,
items?
yeah, yeah, test items are different.
How did it change?
Man, 30 years ago, probably English tests are like really, really difficult, amazingly difficult. And like you probably read a lot of like philosophy stuff or yeah, usually philosophy, like science. Yeah, the topics are like that, but topics were like that. But now, yeah, there are a wide variety of topics you need to read and like less translation, I think.
That's good.
30
That's
years
good.
ago, usually people had to translate an entrance exam. And then like you have to analyze the structure of complicated English sentences. That was the main point. Whereas now, sometimes people have to care about the usage of English. So
It's a little bit more practical than like 30
yeah, I
years
think
ago.
so.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good. Thank you very much for this conversation, Morite2 sensei. By the way, I forgot to tell, I was a high school teacher in Osaka in 1992, from 1992 to 1994. And I was teaching this kind of stuff too, because my students were really advanced. Yeah.
And Japan is trying to introduce speaking tests as well. So
yeah, I heard about that, and maybe that's going to be a different topic next time.
Right. Yeah, that's
Thank you very much.
Okay. You're welcome.
Take care.
Thank you for watching.
And after this, we'll go to your YouTube channel and we'll speak in Japanese. Okay.
All right.
この下に書いてありますので、飛んでいってください。
英語のまた明日